Hey guys, Lady Liberty Stacker, I am back. It's August 2019. I want to give you an update of the 3 pieces of cast iron that I purchased with my husband. Actually, I purchased it, he helped me when we were going through Erie PA, and just some kind of things I learned about that process. We're always learning here. The day I stop learning is the day I'm no longer on planet Earth. Anyway, what I bought 3 pieces. This one is a Wagner Ware Sydney O. It's model number 10580, and the 58, the 8 signifies it is a number 8 skillet. And it is been stripped down to the bare metal, a combination of a lye bath and vinegar soak, and it had a lot more rust on it than I thought, and some stubborn carbon. You can see here a little bit there, a little bit there, but the only other way to remove the carbon, because lye will not remove this carbon. It will soften it, but it doesn't remove rust. So I could put it back into the lye bath. I could do that, try to get it off some more. I got all the rust off so we could see what happens. Or I could order a product called Carbon Off, which will actually take off some of this stubborn carbon. There's quite a bit of it, and usually I get off most of it by this point. But ironically enough, over all this carbon here was a lot of rust. And apparently just the previous owner just neglected this skillet, let it rust. And I really couldn't see the rust because I think there was seasoning obscuring the rust. But once it started to come off with a lye bath, and I then put it into the vinegar soak, did vinegar soaks on and off all week and scrub to try to get this carbon off. Now, electrolysis bath would have probably done the trick, but I normally don't do this many pieces at one time, so I don't have that option, and many of you out there do not have this option. So the only 2 things I can do, at least I've gotten off the rust where I know it's not fire damage, because fire damage, you just can't remove it. It's on there. It just doesn't hold seasoning, nothing. But this was over those areas, and apparently this was seasoning that was underneath the rust. And it's just very stubborn, doesn't want to come off. And actually this is higher than this on the pan. And it'll be a beautiful pan once I can deal with this. Yeah, I could go ahead and season and it'll eventually even out. And there's a little bit of residue coming off, but that's from the carbon, which is very typical at this stage of the game. But I'm thinking I may throw it back into the lye bath and then order the Carbon Off product, which is relatively new. But yeah, this was purchased in an antique shop. The price was really cheap for an antique mall, $22. So there's always a reason for the price, guys. I thought I was just getting a good deal because the lady or the vendor normally sells Griswold, not Wagner Ware. But we'll get it done. The next piece was a Vollrath, unmarked Vollrath with the vertical 8 followed by the dash there. If you can see that, I'll hold the pan up so you can see it. There it is. And the definitive handle, and the nice sidewalls here, and the pour handles, and the interior cooking surface is completely smooth. This is a gorgeous pan, just gorgeous. No seasoning has been applied yet to this. This is the one that I put on canola oil cooking spray to prevent flash rust, and this is a non-GMO product. But I put that on because I wasn't able to season it right away. But I'd like to give at least 1 coat of seasoning. But this is an excellent pan. I paid $37 for this, unmarked. But apparently the vendor in the mall knew it was a quality piece. So there's that one. And then over here was the most expensive piece and most rare. This was a favorite Pequaware waffle iron, or waffle iron, cast iron maker, whatever you want to call it. There's a little bit of pitting here from the rust that was on it, but I got all the rust off. And then I actually had to soak one of these handles some more in lye to get the second wooden handle to soften so I could break it off and then, dig out the rest of the handle so I could season this guy in the oven. You can season on this stove top or a grill, but it's almost like you have to stand there repeatedly adding seasoning to it as it smokes off. For me, I'd rather just put it on, stick it in the oven, and do it a few times because I've got these skillets to do as well. I can do them all at the same time, and easier for me to do it in the oven. I just want to do it on a day it isn't too hot out. Thankfully, it's not too hot outside right now, so I can do the seasoning. But yeah, this is the waffle iron. That's what it looks like. It's totally stripped down to the metal, and it's a darker color of a metal, but it's in excellent condition. And I'm going to try to use it without wooden handles, but I might attempt to have some handles made at some point. But I can show you guys how I'm going to season this. But it's one to give you the rundown. But this was $59, came with the wooden handles, but the handles were kind of had dry rot, and one snapped off, so I actually broke the other one off. So this one was more expensive, but these are extremely rare, and if you go to get them on eBay, if they're cleaned up even as much as this one with maybe one coat of seasoning, even maybe not even that much, they're going to run you over $100. Very expensive. These, I'm not sure, but this was done in the 1920s to 40s, so that one is you don't see too many of those either. And this one is either, I think it might go back in the lye bath, and then some carbon off, and the vinegar's gotten all the rust, unless it rusts again, which I hope it doesn't. That's the fear of putting it back into lye, because, you know, it could develop rust, because lye is partly water. So I've got to decide on this one, but we'll get it restored. If you have any questions, though, please leave them below, along with any questions or comments you have, or if you have any suggestions on this. But again, now I fully believe that that's just carbon. It's kind of soft. That's why it's flaking off in my hands. I've done so much research on it, and that's the only thing I really could gather on this one. And but I'll be back to show you how I season these pieces, and we'll take it from there. So thanks for watching, and go make it a great day.